Okay, I guess I gotta do another one of these. I know I did this already, but if all of you been paying attention and looking into it, you have definitely noticed that these people that are freaking out about Trump, that you guaranteed have heard, Facebook and Twitter and whoever deleting, people's accounts and all that. I mean, everybody's seen what Hillary's done, how the Democrats are lying their asses off. I mean, Trump comes out with a tax plan, and Schumer comes out and says everybody's going to die, and the healthcare thing, no one's going to have healthcare, and Trump's going to be out there stabbing them in the eyeball. That's that's the truth. That's just it. I mean, if the truth matters at all to you, all of this is like stood out, and something in your brain somewhere has said, "What the hell's going on?" What are these people doing? I mean, the dumbest of the dumb will think, oh, well, they just want the power. They just want the position. They just want to be president. They just want, and like they fight to be stupid. You have to fight to be a retard to only think that. To think that, nothing else, and block anything else out, because your common sense is going to say, why? Why are they doing this? What is their purpose? What are they really going for? And if you fight to not even thinking about that, then you are fighting to be the stupidest effing animal there is, of all animals. And when Judgment Day comes, you ain't going to make it. Because God isn't like, oh, so you fought to be a retard so you wouldn't know nothing, so evil could take over and tear everybody's lives to shreds and everything to shreds. Because you fought to be a retard because you refused to think or use your brain. Well, you know what? You could be with those people. Since you want to be a retard and allow that to happen, not stand and be counted, as it's written in the Bible, you ain't going to make it. You ain't coming in here. The only people that come in here are those who have earned it, and that, are holy and got their act together and all that. Nobody walks up to the gates of heaven and says, look, I fought to be as stupid as I could be. I refused to stand up for anything. Everything that was evil that came around, I just turned a blind eye. I hurried up and closed my eyes and covered my ears and just, went la 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 la, because I didn't want to do nothing. Well, he's going to be like, well, you know what? You're going to be doing nothing for the rest of eternity. You're going down. And that's what this is. It's this huge worldwide satanic network. I mean, the Antichrist has got to be alive. He's flat out got to be alive. And he's just sitting waiting to take the reins over of this world, which he guaranteed was going to do if Hillary won. Because they already had all the laws set up in the UN to hand this country over to the UN, so the UN would be in control of this country. Our Constitution would just all of a sudden not exist. And we'd be bound by UN law. And guaranteed they would use all the other militaries of the world to come in to make us heal. And, I mean, you have to think of what Satan wants. And that's what these people want. They've got control of the world's resources. So they're set. They are never going to run out of oil or gas or electricity or whatever. Their lives are already set to where they're set. And they've got their certain parts of the world that are already built up to be like little paradises. So it's not going to affect them at all, unless we track them down and take them out. But if they collapse the rest of the world and shove the rest of this world like they have all the other countries in this world, I mean, the last few that are standing is Europe, which Europe's in the process of being collapsed right now, America, and Israel. And if you read prophecy at all, if you pull your head out and try to find out what's going on at all, you'll see that America is the last big chip to fall. And once America becomes property of Satan, which is what this whole thing is now, with Obama taking office and him doing everything he can to tear up the Constitution, and him and Hillary passing laws at the UN that make America, because they tried this when Obama was in office, just going ahead and making America beholden to the UN, and certain people, like the very few, stood up and said, UN law does not supersede our Constitution. Our Constitution supersedes that. So Obama couldn't do it. And he actually even said, because people were saying, why don't you just do it? You're the president. Just do it. Just tell all the white people they got to get out. We'll let everybody that's not white in, and we could just have everything. We'll just have it, you know? And the white people, they could just go and die wherever. That's what they could do. I mean, the retardation is incredible. But that is their mission. And there again, I know I got to pound this with a freaking sledgehammer through your heads because there's so many people out there, I mean, white people, you know, Christian white people that are like, well, unless it's on TV, it's not for real. Yeah, I mean, it's for real because it's on TV, but not really. It doesn't happen in my... Has that happened in your life every single day, every second there is? When was the last time that happened? Well, that's how 9/11 happened. I was telling people that bin Laden would fly planes into the freaking towers if he couldn't bring them down with a bomb. And the retards all the freaking retards I talked to. Has that happened every single second of every second there is? I felt like busting them in the effing mouth, you know? Because I'm like, well, that didn't happen, did it? You know, and then kick them in the face again while they're down. Well, does that happen every second of every second there is? Well, that means it didn't happen, right? I mean, the retardation is biblical. And we still got it. Because with this Las Vegas shooting, I mean, I already know I left a video about this, but like I was saying before, all of these sites, you know, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, are ran by Satanists. They got the power, and they're deleting anything they can, you know, including videos, you know, whatever. I've had, I don't know how many comments I've written just deleted out of the blue. And, you know, I've apparently these 2 videos too. When I first started this, I couldn't get any videos uploaded. They just kept deleting them. But I guess enough people have paid attention and follow now that they're like, well, you know, this is going to mushroom, so we'll just go ahead and let this guy do his videos, and maybe they're blocking my videos from being seen. They're only being seen by, like, very few people, if any. And that's what they're doing. I'm just doing what God tells me to. You know, from there, it's up to him. Because, you know, I ask him, dude, just give me the power. I'll go do it all. Just give me the power, you know, and I'll take on the whole freaking thing. But that isn't what he wants, or otherwise he would have done it. So I'm like, well, then you do it, you know, unless you want evil to take over, you know. I mean, what are you doing? What do you want? So I'm doing these vids. So the Vegas shooting, like immediately, as soon as I heard about it, I mean, the second I heard about it, I thought, this better not be another Charlottesville, where all the facts point to the friggin' Democrats. You know, of course, they're going to come out lying their ass off, you know, on every news channel they can. But once the real facts start coming out of what happened, then they hurry up and bury it. Because they're like, oh, we're going to get found, man. They're going to track us back to us. You don't hear about Charlottesville anymore. You know, that girl that died, that was like the ultimate trophy. They were trying to hang on Trump's neck, which is what they do. They murder people and create disaster all over the place, then try to hang it on the Christians. You know, and there again, the Christians are retards. They fall for it. You know, all you got to do is tell them twice. You know, so, oh, for sure, it happened. That's what happened. That's what happened. That's it. And the Christians are like, oh, wow. Man. Oh, you know. That's why they get away with so much that they do. I mean, clear since 1983, Joe Biden had over 240 of our soldiers murdered in working with a freaking terrorist, the original real deal terrorist called Carlos the Jackal. I mean, there's movies about it. And, you know, all they did was come out and say, well, that was because Reagan was rude. You know, he wasn't nice to them. And it freaking got buried. And our whole government stood behind that, letting Biden off of that. Even the Republicans. Nobody was out there screaming, hang his effing ass. Instead, they all like hurry up and got in what a little orgy they did, you know, in whatever secret room. And, okay, how do we will and do this? And how do we work this? 240 soldiers just got murdered. You know, blown to pieces with a car bomb that drove into the barracks where they were sleeping. And here's the Republicans, clear back then, 1983, you know, being like, let's have an orgy. Let's have an orgy and do deals and all that. And you know what? They died, but they signed up for that. That's what they wanted. They wanted to die. What can we get? I mean, every one of them should have been drug out by the hair and burnt effing alive. Chained together and then, whatever, throw them in an eternal burning pit, you know. Supposedly there's places around the world where they can't find the bottom of it. Take them out there and throw them in, you know. Fill the thing full of whatever that burns and light it on fire and, you know. Anyways. And we've had stuff like that clear since before that, since the 70s, when the terrorists would pull attacks. I mean, I can go on forever. You know, with them hijacking planes and boats and throwing people out on the tarmac dead and throwing people off boats out in the middle of the ocean, cruise ships. You know, I mean, they never fix anything. Everything is what can we wheel and deal to get something for ourselves? And then they hurry up and bring up something else in the news to make you forget about it. You know, and it's just, this is never, ever, ever, ever ending. I mean, even like right now, this 5-year-old girl that got gang raped up in Twin Falls, Idaho by 3 Muslim little kids. I mean, not only did they rape her, but they sodomized her, made her, a 5-year-old girl, made her do oral, and they pissed on her and they videotaped it. The effing courts up in Twin Falls bitched out the parents of the little girl. They dropped the charges on the boys. They said, well, they're too young. They don't know anything. It's not their fault. And then they bitched out, the judge and the DA bitched out the parents saying, how dare you bring up charges? They're little kids. It's not really their fault. They don't know anything really. You know, they're still innocent. I mean, same deal. They got to be drug out, thrown in that pit, burned alive, and thrown in that freaking pit. You know, that cop that killed that girl up in Minnesota. You know, that Muslim cop. Well, you already know he's back on the job. Taxpayers are paying him. He didn't even get questioned. He just bam, 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 emptied his gun, murdered a girl. Says, fuck you, I'm a Muslim. And that's what they said up there. They just said, you know what? F you. I'm a Muslim. I could murder any of you bitch asses I feel like it anytime I want. And you know what? Lick my AIDS-infested ass. And what happened? And this is with Trump in office. This is with Trump in office. You know, a lot of people like to think that, oh, Trump won, so it's all good now. No. We still have a Secretary of Defense, or secretary somehow in the military, that is punishing Christians in our military any way she can. Anything she could find to jack with them, she's still there. I mean, I wrote Trump. Why don't you replace all of Obama's freaking satanic pieces of crap that are still in there? You know? I mean, you know, people are telling it. People are letting them know that, hey, man, we still got... I mean, Obama flipped this. You know, there again, if you're going to be stupid enough to believe anything anybody says, because I've heard this too, people are like, well, Obama said he was Christian, but he said it. Well, empty out the prisons. Huh? Because they all say they're innocent, but they said it. They said they're innocent. Then why do we have them in there? Just, it's taking up room and it's dirty and it's not fun. You know, I mean, the retardation is biblical. You know, I see these videos on YouTube of people that say they're Christian and they think they're going to heaven. Lucifer's got his mouth wide open for you because you fight for evil as much as anybody. That's how these Satanists, you know, in power especially, get away with everything that they do because you fight to be a freaking retard and not pull your head out about it, because if you don't even acknowledge it, it's not going to get defeated. It's not going to be stopped. I mean, I even see radio talk show hosts now, you know, talking about Stephen Paddock, you know, how he did it, how he pulled this Las Vegas shooting off. And I'm like, he didn't freaking do it. Are you guys completely, I mean, you don't pay attention to nothing, do you? All someone's got to do is whisper, you know, a few times in your ear, maybe lick your ear, give you some tongue in the ear, and then you're like, ooh, okay, I'm there, I'm with it. You know, it's like what it is. Because the FBI came out immediately. I mean, the second it happened, this is not a terrorist attack. I mean, that told me right there. I'm like, this is a freaking false flag. And guaranteed they're going to go for taking everybody's guns. That's why this happened. That's the why. What I said before, you know, in the beginning of this, is how nobody even looks to for what the why is. Oh, hold on a second.